So first, we're both excited. Our whole organization is excited about our new additions to our roster by way of trade, Joe Thuney and Jonah Jackson, and recently signed Grady Jarrett and Durham Smythe. The beautiful thing about this is we both have connection points with these guys, which makes it really good. We know the type of men that they are that are coming into our building, and we're really confident they're going to enhance our entire team and our locker room. I'm proud of the preparation that went into this, our process, as well as our communication between Ben and I, our staffs, and then most importantly, our salary cap folks who took, they had some heavy lifting in this one too. So, part of our process that a lot of people don't know, we spend probably bi-weekly, we'll get together to talk about our finances and where we can spend and kind of how much flexibility we have. And that was really started by Kevin. And with that openness, it allows us to jump on these opportunities to enhance our football team, and I don't take that lightly at all. So that communication and that collaboration has been huge. I'll open it up to questions.
Ryan, how much did urgency to get things going quickly play into giving big contracts to veteran players?
Can you explain that?
Like Thuney and Jackson, the salary cap hits that you guys will take for this year, I mean, how much of that was driven by just trying to get things right as quickly as possible on the offensive line and maximize the opportunity you have with Caleb's rookie contract window?
Yeah, I think really the focus was how can we enhance our football team? Like I mentioned with the salary cap and the finance part of it, we have the flexibility to do that. And a lot of that has to do with how well Matt Feinstein has kind of structured everything to allow us to do really jump on opportunities where, we had trade options where, again, they're two guys that we're really familiar with that we know can help us not only from a leadership perspective, but also on the field. So when that popped open, we were able to jump on it. And obviously that wasn't part of, the plan back when we were getting ready for free agency. So I've always learned just over the last few years, you got to be on your toes for those things that pop up. So when you match kind of the flexibility and doing good stuff with our salary cap, with opportunities, we were able to jump on it.
Hey, Ben. Patrick Finley from the Chicago Sun-Times. Is there a personality trait or a common theme to the offensive linemen that you guys wanted and wound up landing?
Yeah, we want some tough, some gritty, some dirty individuals, and we feel pretty good about the two guys we got. Smart is a word that comes to mind, particularly with the interior players. We need guys that we love to have some versatility to our scheme, some multiplicity, if you will. And so we got a couple guys in the building now that we feel strongly can handle a variety of different concepts and schemes that we might want to employ each and every week. Beyond that, I mean, their play speaks for themselves just in terms of what the tape says. The character, the integrity, it's top notch. I can speak firsthand with Jonah, and Ryan can speak firsthand with Joe. I'm really, really excited to get these guys in the room, combined with the coaches that we've already put together for that room. I feel really good about the style of play we'll have this year.
And is the idea to have Joe at left and Jonah at right?
Yes, that is. Yep.
Ryan, with Joe, how do you frame the value of his arrival, both from adding an on-field proven standout and what he can offer behind the scenes as well?
Yeah, Joe's seen a lot, both from his time in New England. I still remember, it feels like yesterday, where we were signing him into Kansas City when we were trying to get our offensive line right so we can make a push and win championships. And that's exactly what he brought. So he's seen a lot of different things, played with a lot of different players. So there's a level of maturity and leadership that is definitely going to enhance not only just the offensive line room, but our entire roster.
And then with Jonah, for both of you guys, what did your homework turn up in terms of what his 2024 was like in Los Angeles and sorting through that? Yeah, just there was a position change. He started out playing center. That's out of, you can ask him about it, but that's out of position. So it just started up a little bit choppy. But when you go back and see when he was in Detroit, I go all the way back to Rutgers when I watched him. The guy is made of the right stuff, and he's capable of really helping us up front, anchoring, but also getting pushed in the run game.
Yeah, the guy's a Pro Bowl caliber guard, so that's what we're going to get out of him.
Ryan, can you speak to like just the process of going through specifically when you talk about signing Joe and Grady, just the homework that goes into it from the personnel department to kind of identify veterans that may become available from other teams for whatever the reason may be?
Yeah, you do research on the situation. Each team has their own situation. Some teams got to make, moves to change it up on their roster and to kind of clear space. And you're aware of those. You're not sure how they're going to play out. There's a lot of different ways to manipulate and change things up to fit. But in this case, it was unexpected. So obviously when I heard their names, we went to work immediately. And again, I know Joe just from our time in Kansas City, but with Grady, I just being teammates with Matt Ryan, they've shared the locker room, and the words that, how he described that man is special, and it won't take you long to understand that he's different.
Ryan, a couple of weeks ago at the Combine, Ben was really confident about being able to flip the interior of the offensive line in one off season. Mm-hmm. Can you walk us through the process of going the trade route, of evaluating what the guard market looked like and deciding that was going to ultimately be the path that you guys took to, to upgrade the left and right guard spot? Yeah,
you just have to stay open-minded, because what we don't talk about enough is just because free agency opens up and it looks a certain way, you don't know if there's a connection that player may want to go somewhere else. So it may not even come down to money. It may be the fit for the player. So there's no guarantees just because the board is lined up and you have money to make it happen. So you got to really cast a wide net and be opportunistic and see when opportunities pop up, this is the best thing for us. You do anticipate things like that, but at the same time, it was just about acquiring the best players that we can.
And Ben, speaking to the run game specifically, how important is it what are you looking for from your interior offensive linemen to be able to run as many schemes as you do and be as effective in the run? What do Jonah and Joe possess that leads you to believe that will yield some positive
the
results?
intelligence factor is a major portion of it, because they got to be able to handle different fronts for all these variety of schemes that we would like to employ. End of the day, we'll push this thing as far as we feel the collective group can handle up front. And that's where the intelligence is so important to expand on that variety. If we get really good at particular type of blocks, that's what we're going to feature. So we're not going to try to do something that doesn't make sense. But we have two extremely well-rounded individuals here. Feel really good about Darnell, Braxton, the rest of the group that's in that room right now, and how that thing could look in terms of the combinations, getting movement at the line of scrimmage, playing on the defense's line side of the ball, and that's particular for the run game. Up front, though, in the passing game, we have to be better from a pass protection standpoint, and we really prioritize guys that are going to win one-on-one battles with a 3 technique, and we feel like both these guys are capable of that.
Speaking of the 3 technique, what do you like about Grady? I'm sure you've played against him a number of times, and what can he add to the defense? And then a second question would be, how quickly can guys like Joe and Grady, who've been around the block a long time, impact the culture here? They've talked about the culture here for a long time. The record hasn't been great. I think you need a good record to legitimately claim you've got a good culture. Can newcomers impact something like that pretty quickly?
Yeah, the first thing I'd say about Grady is this is a guy for a number of years now that's played at a fantastically high level. Like, this guy is outstanding. You feel his presence. He's a guy you have to game plan for when you go against him. I know when I was in Detroit with Jonah, we talked like, this is a guy that you come out of the game and you're sore because you played against him. He's relentless. He's passionate about what he does. Just talking to him today gave me goosebumps, because this guy loves football and he's going to bring that element to the team. All 3 of these guys, they've been in the playoffs. They've won playoff games. Joe in particular has won Super Bowls. Yeah, that does rub off to the rest of the locker room, because we're gonna define what it's gonna look like in terms of our meeting process, our walkthrough process, our practice habits, what it looks like off the field, because that all translates to winning on the field. All 3 of these guys have done that at a high level.
Mark? Hey, Ryan, has this, what you've been able to do so far, opened up what you can do in the draft? Are you looking at it that way?
Yeah, this really opens the whole board for us. So we're going to be able to sit back and kind of look and say what's the best thing to do for the Chicago Bears, and who's the best player that can impact. So we got some tough decisions and a lot of film to watch between now and the draft.
Two more, Alex and Kevin.
Ryan, can you take us through the process of bringing Grady Jarrett in? I imagine it was a bit of a whirlwind that happened really quickly. Can you just take us through the process of that deal coming together?
Yeah, just, the way social media is, you see it pop up and you're like, oh my, like, let me check the tape. Let's go back to the tape, look at the grades that we have in the system, and again, make some phone calls just to get an understanding of who he is as a man. And all of those things check the box. And again, it's someone that can help move this team to where we need to go.
Last one, Kevin.
Ben, what was the process like with the offensive line specifically, working with Ryan? Obviously, position he knows well. What was that experience like, kind of merging what you look for, what he looks for out of linemen to land these two guys?
Yeah, it's a combination of my experience. Certainly, he's got a heavy background. So does Ian Cunningham. Dan Rochar, bringing him into the fold. Kyle DeVan. It's been an entire groupthink process. Everyone's had a voice and a say in what we want this thing to look like and how it could unfold. So I think the collaboration's been fantastic so far.